voted most humorous in my senior class in high school. I did forensics, which is like a competitive drama. Instead of doing productions, we did forensics, which is you would prepare scenes like duet acting or improvised duet, and you go compete against other schools. So I did that. I was on the radio and television station. I played sports. So, I did other things. But then I was a theater and film major in college, but I also had my pilot's license when I was in college. So when you graduate from college as a theater and film major, you're going to be a waiter. That's how it works. Or you're going to be a bartender if you're lucky. But I also took a test, and I got a guaranteed flight contract from the Marine Corps. So I thought, well, am I going to be a waiter or Top Gun? And I thought I'd try to be Top Gun. So that's why I ended up going into the Marines out of college, and went through officer candidate school, went to the basic school, went to aviation indoctrination, started primary flight training down in Pensacola, then went to intermediates out in Corpus Christi, and I got closer to getting my wings. And as I was about to get my wings, I realized once I pinned those wings on, they owned me for 8 years. And I could do the math, and I figured out really quickly, I was like, I'm not going to get a chance to be an actor or a comedian. I'm going to be a pilot for the rest of my life, which is a fine life. But my passion, I felt like my calling was I wanted to at least try comedy and acting. So I said no to my wings, became a ground officer, finished my ground commitment, and pursued comedy and acting. And that's how I ended up here. My character is Mr. or Coach Walters, and I am the gym teacher / track coach at the high school that Jonah and Channing infiltrate. And, I'm kind of a slacker, probably. I got some issues going on, I'm not really invested. I got some growth, and then these guys come along, and in Channing's character, I see this Greek god, this Adonis, that could win all my track events for me. And in Jonah, I see a slacker. But then they get mixed up, and Jonah becomes my track star, and then he loses for me. So I end up hating Jonah's character and loving Channing. Anyway, it's a very unique dynamic. And then my character has some other issues that you might want to see. For 21 Jump Street, we had two directors. We had two great directors, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, and they're great. And when you hear about two directors, that's like two captains of a ship. That can be kind of terrifying, but they were so in sync. I never once got a contradictory note. I never once had any friction. They had a shared vision, a very clear vision, and it translates, I think, because they did a great job of steering everybody in the right direction. You felt very confident with them. You felt like they knew exactly where they were and what they wanted to do. And they were good because they understood how Jonah and how I and how Channing play. So we would do the scenes, we would do the notes, and we would do what was on the page. And once we got it and felt good about it, then they would then they go, let's play. And then we'd improvise and try things and take chances. And some of that stuff made it in, some of it didn't, but at least they let us play. And that always makes a comedian and an actor feel good, like, oh, okay, at least I got to try it. I was very lucky. Jonah asked me to do a table read early on in the script process. And so I sat down, I did a table read, and it was great. I was enjoying it. They asked me to come back and do another table read. So I was thinking, well, this is good, and I'm enjoying the script. I love Walters. So then after that, I was like, well, have you guys made a decision on who's going to be Walters? And they're like, oh, we're thinking about it. I was like, I'd like to give it a shot if I could, please. So then they let me come in and audition, and then in the audition, I'm a terrible audition. I really am. I got to get over it, but I'm really not a good audition. So first time I went in and auditioned with Jonah was there, Channing was there, Chris and Phil were there. And I was really stiff. And I'm like, I've done the table read. Like, I've done this character before. But I was really stiff and nervous. And Jonah was great. Jonah was like, man, drop the script. Let's play. So I was like, great. So I dropped the script, and we started improvising. And we were we were having a blast within 2 minutes. People were laughing, and it was good and natural, and it felt right. And some of the stuff we improvised in that audition made it into the movie. So it just felt right at that point. And then I think they felt it too because they hired me.